All right, we're now live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Waiting for Natalie to come in on Instagram. Guys, like and share this feed. We have a really good topic going on for today. So guys, like and share this feed. Like and share this feed on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. Today is a great day. I got you playing Natalie. Natalie is going live now. Guys, like and share this feed on Instagram on this side, Facebook and YouTube over here. What up, kid? Text me. Text me. Guys, like and share this feed on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. What up, Natalie? Hey. It's okay. I got you in both ears, so it's like I'm hearing both sides, which is cool. All right, guys. So like and share this feed on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This is another week of Boss Up Talks. And today the topic is managing your thoughts and your conversations. Managing your thoughts and your conversation. So that's a really good topic to talk about today for Boss Up Talks. You know, we talk about Boss Up, which stands for building opportunities strategically and successfully. And we just come live every week to kind of just go over some simple things for entrepreneurs and creatives to just keep in mind to help you grow and pivot and take it to the next level. And the theme for this week is managing your conversation and your thoughts. All right, so Natalie, so what's your take on that? I know you got something fiery to talk about with that, probably.
Oh man, first of all, I have to say Happy International Women's Day to all the boss up women in the building. You can't forget us. We got our own day, y'all, because we that fly. That's because we've been overlooked for way too long, so they had to give us a day to make up for all those centuries of putting us down. But we all right, we're here now. But I'm so excited that we're talking about thoughts and managing. So we're talking about managing your thoughts, right? Is that what you said? I want to make sure I get it right.
Managing your thoughts and conversations.
Ooh, so you know I love talking about conversations because I feel like it is in conversation that we're able to confront those beliefs that we have. Like a lot of the time, especially when we're isolated, and this is what the enemy loves, is for us to be isolated and by ourselves and stuck in our mind and our thoughts. And when we are engaged in conversation, we get to confront our beliefs and we get to see if our beliefs really stand up and they hold weight or if they're trash. Because some of the things that we're thinking, some of the things that we believe is trash. And it's the thing that is holding us back and keeping us from moving forward. I have this book that I read on YouTube actually, and it's free. If you go to YouTube and you type in "The Mountain Is You," you get the full audio book for free. And the author talks about the mountain being your thoughts that's causing you to stay stuck in wherever you're at right now. And it talks really about how to overcome self-sabotage. And we don't realize that we sabotage ourselves every single day by the thoughts that we're thinking. And so this, like coming outside of your own thought and outside of your own head is when you get to engage in conversation. So this is about to be a phenomenal conversation here today. So I'm excited.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you good now.
Okay, yeah. So I gotta figure out what I just said with the mic. But yeah, so this is why I started really talking about that conversation piece. 3 days ago, no, this is not true. A week ago and 2 days ago, I was on a phone call, and I'm really big on people not complaining. So, like, let's say we're having a conversation, right, and you're venting, right? Venting is one thing, but when we keep talking about the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, I'm probably like the worst person to kind of do that to because I get really annoyed and I end up turning like the mic down on the phone, or I put the headpiece down because for me, life is just way too short to complain about what you're not going to fix. So what happened was normally like I'll make an excuse, hey, I gotta go off the phone. But what I did was on both occasions, two people was complaining on the phone, and I said, hey, can you stop for a second? Just stop for a second. I said, tell me 5 things you're grateful for and 5 things you don't work on in the next 30 days. The reason why I just stopped that is because so oftentimes we'll get caught up in complaining that we don't make a plan of action, right? So for me, what I had to realize is that one, God didn't design me to be a garbage can, right? So if I would have sat there
and allow someone, and I was just counting the clock. I thought it was like 7 minutes past, 10 minutes past, 8 minutes past, 20 minutes past. And I said, yo, why am I allowing these conversations to dwindle, to keep going on when I know I don't want to talk about this, right? So the more I started to really sit down and just think and just focus, the more I realized I just had to like, oh, my thing was mute the whole time. I'm sorry about that. It was mute on Instagram. No, it was mute. I took it off. What happens is we get so hooked on trying to be there for everybody, trying to let people, be available to talk to somebody. But sometimes it's like you have to put yourself priority and realize that, hey, because I'm designed to be a garbage can, I have to be mindful of not only my thoughts and conversations, but who's also talking back to me. So I had to be like, hey, fam, stop talking, stop talking. And at first they thought I was being rude. I said no, because we're not going over this conversation. We've had this conversation several times before. So let's just pause this whole conversation. Tell me 5 things you're grateful for, and tell me 5 things you want to work on in the next 30 days. The reason why is we're not benefiting from you talking about the drama part. No one's benefiting from that. So because of that, let's talk about your plan of action, because we have to make sure we're so mindful of the energy we're putting out through our words and through our thoughts.
Listen, oh my gosh. This is good because I love that you talked about the people that you're in conversation with and that everybody doesn't deserve a conversation. That part right there. I have a few groups of entrepreneurs that I am a part of. In one of our groups, we had the question was posed to us, who in your business deserves a conversation? And one of the young ladies said, in the season that I'm entering into, nobody from the last season deserves a conversation. She was like, where I'm at right now, I'm not going to explain myself to them, because what happens is, depending on the motive of the person that you're in conversation with, they will try to manipulate you into thinking the way that they're thinking. And manipulate meaning like they're going to use certain strategies on certain words in order to get you to think the way that they're thinking. Because in conversation, you're exchanging ideas. You're not just pouring out, but you're also receiving too. So you have to be mindful of who you're in conversation with. You do have to be open. You don't want to be closed off to every single person, but you got to be mindful who you're in connection with, in conversation with, in community with. Because even with in the Garden of Eden, we could see the prime example with the serpent when he came to Eve and started a conversation. And the first thing he said was, "Did God really say?" So some people have ulterior motives, and they use their words for you to question your being or your stance on something. And it's not to help you get any better, but it's for you to start now doubting yourself. And when you move out of position, they can now take over where you had a right to or a reign to before. So understanding who you're in conversation with and understanding the type of people you're in conversation with, and really allowing time with these conversations to reveal their true motives. A lot of us, we like to have business partnerships. And as business people, you can't do this thing by yourself. So you have to connect with other people. But it's only in conversation that you begin to understand who the people you're connected to with. And you have to really take time to analyze who these people are based on their character and their words. And even for yourself, if you want to throw the responsibility back onto you, you have to evaluate your thoughts, the conversations that you're having, not just with other people, but when you are by yourself. What are you saying to yourself when nobody else is around? Are you saying that you're never going to build this business? Are you saying this is too hard for me? Are you saying this ain't never going to work? I don't even know why I keep trying this thing every single day. What conversations are you having first and foremost with yourself? And then what conversations are you having with the people that are in community with you?
Yeah, that's good. I think what I like you said the most, in that, well, not the most, but you said a lot of good stuff. But you had said watching people from their character and their actions. A lot of times, too, people give lip service. They say what you want to hear or what they think they can really actually do. Sometimes we bite off more than we where we want to do a project, but then it's just like mentally we know we're not doing that. And I think this past year I really have been better at really saying yes to some things and no to some things, because sometimes I'll keep saying yes to something, not realizing that, Jay, you're not even perfecting what God told you to do in these areas. So how can you say yes to other people when you're not really meant to do that right now, right? So another thing, going back to just really what you were saying, and just thinking about your words, conversation is so important. Because remember, every time we speak, we have to really speak life or death. Even if we're joking, even what it is, that we have to be so careful about the words we're using, because words take on form. Remember, words are like a bag of seeds. Every time I put them into the ground, to the atmosphere, they're going to take root. So I'm so mindful of the words that I use, because I want to make sure the words that I'm speaking are going to bring life when I need to bring life. Even to just like, I just realized, like, I'm really, me and my friend Dad were talking about this. We're very easy to talk to, right? So people naturally always want to talk to us. They want to get ideas, and they want to get our opinion on stuff. But they got to realize too is sometimes you got to know when to say no, because some people are talking about the same stuff. And it's like, man, we talked about that last year. You still working on that? You still doing that? And it comes to a point where you have to become so serious about your ear gate, your eye gate, and your mouth gate, that you put a guard up, about what you have to say. Because even too, that when John was born, God, the angel to shut the mouth of the father, because he would speak so negative, because he could not believe that they were manifest something that they wanted already, which was a kid. They couldn't have a kid. So he didn't want him to speak anything negative over what God wanted to do on the earth. And sometimes, as soon as we open up our mouth, we're canceling what God wants to do on the earth. And we're all given gifts, talents, and abilities. And the thing about those gifts, talents, and abilities, once we choose to add our own 2 cents in there, we start to cancel the effectiveness of what we really could be. Some of us could be so great. Like, I was talking to a coworker the other day, and she said, I never saw myself as a speaker, but I'm being flown out to speak in different places. So I said, okay, cool. So how are we going to set yourself up to be seen as a speaker? Because sometimes you may not even have all of it together, but when you show up on the scene, your representation speaks confidence, speaks value, even if you don't feel that way. When you show up to the scene, there should be something inside of you that exudes what you believe that you want to become. Now, for me, for example, is I know that there's certain things I wanted to become years ago, like the whole celebrity chef thing, to be to have a large clientele base and things of this nature. But I started to show up as if I had a large clientele base. I had to show up as the chef that everybody wanted to hire. I had to show up with confidence that when people saw me, they knew it was something different about me. And the air that I gave to everybody else, it was one of confidence. It was one where it seemed like I knew what I was talking about. Because what happens is, sometimes people love your confidence before they even know you. Because sometimes, like, oh, when they get to know you, they realize they don't even like you. But your confidence was such an amazing experience that they wanted to be connected to you. So when it comes to your words, stop doubting yourself by the words you speak, by your thoughts you speak, by the conversations you have. If you don't believe it, right, this is what I would do. I would Google affirmations, Google words about whatever I'm dealing with. If I'm dealing with stress, let me talk about that. If I'm dealing with low self-esteem, let me write on that. Scriptures about low self-esteem, confessions about low self-esteem, and then start speaking it. So every time I feel the way, naturally feel, I have to combat that with the words that are going to bring life to what I'm going through.
Now, I was taking notes. You wasn't supposed to end real quick. When you speak, it's so, oh my God, you drop so many gems. This one I have to, oh my gosh. Okay, you said talking about, you have to exude what you believe. And that means you really have to align your belief with your actions, your faith, like they say in the Bible, or James said in the Bible, faith without works is dead. Nobody knows what you believe if you don't do what you say you're supposed to do. They're going to align with your actions more than your words. So if you say something that is in alignment with what you do, they're going to believe what you do instead of what you say. Now, you talked about the lady saying that she didn't see herself as a speaker, but she is speaking. And I have to say, she might not have seen herself as a speaker, but she saw herself speaking. That's why she is speaking. And what we confuse a lot of the times is, and this is why conversations with people like Chef J and myself is super important, having a coach that is in alignment with God, that is in alignment with their purpose, that actually lives what they say they're doing, is because we understand the power of your imagination, what you're thinking. We understand the power of your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And when your thoughts are in alignment with your words and alignment with your actions, it becomes the thing that people know you for, and then they give you a title. So I promise you, if you go back into that woman's history, she imagined herself speaking, then she started speaking, and then people started asking her to speak. But then now they started calling her a speaker, and she's like, I never thought of myself as a speaker because that's a title. But the title only comes after you've been doing all the things. And so many of us want the title. I want to be the speaker without ever thinking about actually speaking, without ever actually saying I'm going to be speaking, without actually ever speaking. You're grabbing hold of a title. And the title means absolutely nothing if you don't have anything to back it up. The title gets you in the door, but if you don't have anything to hold the door open, they will close that door on you and you would have the title still. You will still be speaker so-and-so, because there's so many speakers, authors, coaches who are not getting booked. There's so many of them out there that are still broke because they have not been lining their thoughts with their words and with their actions, so nobody can see them having power. So that's why when we come on this Boss Up Talk Wednesdays, we talk a lot about your words, we talk a lot about your thoughts, and we talk a lot about your actions. But we don't really talk a lot about your titles because we understand where the real power lies. We are not asking you to keep calling yourself boss so-and-so. We're asking you to think like a boss, speak like a boss, and behave like a boss, so that when all those three things are aligned, they will start calling you the boss. You won't even have to call yourself anything. That's all I have to say. That was just like, whoa.
You dropping mics out on that one. You dropping mics out. That's so good. The reason why it's so good is, like I always say with my coaching clients, is 9 times out of 10, what you're already doing is what you're meant to do, but nobody ever told you it was a gift. You know, I started cooking, but the fact that I was exposed to entrepreneurship, this happened. I made one cake that was really good. I didn't say start a business just yet. We were in church on a Sunday, and on that Sunday, you know, Pastor James and Joyce were saying, hey, we want to start acknowledging the gifts and businesses of the house. And, you know, so just stand up and say your name of your business. At that moment, it clicked that I was an entrepreneur. Right, that was the moment that really clicked, because I was making cakes that was really good. It was a little outside, but it was really good. But I'm like, man, I need to do something about this. But then on that Sunday, once they said that part, it clicked. Yo, you need to be an entrepreneur because you are a baker, right? So what happens is a lot of times we're doing this stuff already. We're practicing our title. We don't know it's our title, right? So what happens is a transition. So really realize that, hey, I'm really good at this. I can really be profitable in business if I take X, Y, and Z steps. That's the other part. We don't add the if part, the steps, because we jump out there and sometimes, you know, it's not really properly planned. But I love that part because a lot of times we're doing what we're meant to do already. We are doing the work without a title. And it's not saying you need the title, but you'll be working so hard at what you do that people will naturally call you that, right? But the part that you have to step into is, now I have to start stepping into the title. Because now there's one thing to do the work already, but when now you're gifted with the title, is a certain level you carry yourself with, because now it's more of a demand on you, right? So now as a chef, I know I'm a chef. I've been cooking all this time, but now I step into that role as a coach or a chef. And now, okay, what do I do differently? Like, for example, is when I first started teaching, I knew I was a chef, but now I had stepped into the teacher role. So now I had to really start identifying my words and learn, really like studying. I had to study textbooks. because I didn't want to go into the classroom and tell these kids one thing, and I know what I was talking about. So I winged it for a little bit, but I really started. I put textbooks and I started studying because I wanted to step into the role as a chef culinary instructor. Until I stepped into that role, I would have still been doing things that's not up to par, right? Because I could have easily went to class and made stuff up, but I wanted to make sure I gave the right interpretation. So now that I look at it 10 years later, because I'm going to my 10th year teaching, I'm very good at breaking stuff down, and I'm good at really showing examples of things, right? Because I had to step into that role. But once you step into the role of who you are, greatness just follows you because you actually stepped into the role you've been practicing for. It's like auditioning for a movie, right? You know them scenes left and right for that audition. And then when you get to the audition, you know, now you have to really show that you have earned that title. And now I can work out that title and do what I need to do to really not only step into that title, but perfect it to the point where, like, even like think about Dreamgirls, right? Jennifer Hudson portrayed her role so well that if you've never even seen the first one, you didn't even know a first one existed, right? Because they played their roles. And, you know, you see that in movies where the second one, it, you know, shows out more, or the second production. So it comes to the point in your life where you have to be so gung-ho on, let me watch my words. Let me only speak what I want to manifest. Let me speak what I want to see. Because now when I step into who I am meant to be, I'll be so gifted at it and good at it because I've been practicing for all this time. And it's now just for me to just step into what I've been called to do already.
Chef? This is why we call him Chef J.
So silly.
Because this man knows exactly what he's talking about. This is why they call him Coach, because he knows exactly what he's talking about. And I love that you said, now that you have the title, like you got all that stuff in alignment, and now that you got the title, now you have the authority to now show them why you got the title. You know what I mean? Like, that just makes it, oh my gosh. And I love the way that you talked about teaching, because I felt the same way. I felt like I was always teaching my younger siblings. I was always, you know, tutoring. I did tutoring for such a long time that when I stepped into the role of teacher, it was like I had already been prepped for this, but I couldn't stop there and think that, okay, I got everything that I need, that I don't need to move forward. No, I have everything that I needed to get to this place. Now that I have the title, how do I advance this call that I have on my life so that I can show up as my best self in this particular area? So the title now gives me a set of responsibilities. It really kind of narrows my focus down, if you really want to look at it. I'm no longer just out here doing everything. As a coach, I'm doing what a coach does. And I have a particular set of requirements that I have, a particular set of skills that I have identified that I want to operate as a coach. And I'm working every day to get better and very refine each of those skills so that I can show up for my clients as the best coach. That when they think of that one thing, clarity, they think of me. When they are confused, when they are stuck, when they are afraid, when they can't move, and they're saying what I'm lacking is clarity, they think of me. And not just my clients. It's like you want to get to that place as an entrepreneur, as a business person, that you want to be world renowned. When anybody thinks of this particular thing, they think of you. When I hear tennis shoes or I hear sneakers, I think of Nike.
Yeah.
I don't know what there is. Well, Converse sometimes. I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to my mind is Nike. You want to be top of mind in your field, in your area. And that's going to take you stepping out of your comfort zone, out of your thoughts. It's going to take you having hard conversations, first of all, with yourself, because you have to identify the things that are holding you back in your mind. And then you're going to have hard conversations with other people, because you have to test what you believe. Is what you believe so valid that even in a conversation with somebody else is going to be able to stand up? Or is what you believe trash that when you get into a conversation with somebody else, you have to dump it out? Like, you have to always be testing these things. This is how students, like Josh and I are teachers, this is how our students go from one level of understanding to the next, is they take a test. There's always a test to get you to the next level. Do you really believe? Do you really understand? Have you really mastered what you said you have, what I've been putting down, what you have been receiving? And if not, go back and redo it and reteach it and retest it so that you can master it to go to the next level. Because it's nothing like taking a second grader into the sixth grade. There's nothing like that. Taking somebody who's on a second grade level into the sixth grade. I got to now readjust and realign every single day to get him from second grade to third, to fourth, to fifth, to sixth, where I'm at. It's hard. And that's not what we want for you when you move it in the marketplace. You enter into spaces where people are on a whole different level and you still don't understand the fundamental stuff of having a financial report. Why are we still in business and we have not a business bank account? We don't have a financial report. We don't have no idea what we made last month. That makes no sense to be in business and be on that kind of level. So having conversations with the right people like Chef J and Coach Natalie is going to help you level up in your business and life. This is good, Josh.
Wait, let's go back to what you said probably like 5 minutes ago. What happens is here's another thing. Sometimes we psych ourselves out of what we're called to do because we feel like there's no opportunity, right? A lot of times, the reason why there's no opportunity because it's for you to create it. There are a lot of spaces that I've been in that I didn't feel like there was room for something. So what I did was I created that space. So if you feel as though that your gift is not being received in a certain community or area, it's not that it's not good enough or it's not received. It's meant for you to create your own lane for yourself. Because what happens is the reason why you have vision is because vision will allow you to see in dark areas. Vision is like those shows where they have like the night goggles on where you can't see anything, but with those night goggles on, you start to see a whole nother thing that's going on. So when you start to really adjust your vision, which starts from you really changing your mindset, changing your thoughts, and changing your conversations. If your conversations are the same, it's hard for you to create new spaces because you've been saying the same thing over and over and over again, but with no plan of action. So when you think about, like for example, private dining. Private dining was not a thing when I first started doing it. That was not a thing. I started doing it really like 10 years ago, but really started really going hard 7 years ago. Private dining was not a thing. No one said the private dining experience. It was maybe a couple of us that started doing it, but and it's not to take credit for it, but I just say that for myself, I know I was one of the people that really was really serious about starting the private dining experience. Now on Instagram, you see everybody, the private dining experience, private dining, private chef. That wasn't a big thing, you know? So when I created a lane for myself, this is what happens when you create a lane for yourself, you open up doors for other people. And sometimes you wonder why it's so much harder for you to get things done, because when you're a trendsetter, you have to think that you're paving new ways for other people behind you. So when you feel like I stopped looking at other people who were more successful at the time. And I said, okay, hold on. Let me focus on Josh, because what happens is I don't want to hate on their success that I don't move forward and progress in the things that's meant for me. Because when you start to change your mindset, your thoughts, your conversations, you move and you flow differently, right? Because when you're meant to be a trailblazer, like there's only going to be one Dr. Martin Luther King. There's only going to be one Frederick Douglass. There's going to be one Benjamin Banneker. There's going to be one, you know, like it's only one of them. You know, so it's like when you try to replicate so many other people, when you just stay in your lane and allow God to minister to you as you change your words, you renew your mind, you watch your thoughts, how you're speaking. When you start to go into different places, the doors of creativity are become just open for you, because you was waiting on one door to open up, and next year that door never opened up. So you started feeling doubt in your mind, like, I knew this wasn't for me. I knew I couldn't do it. I'm gonna be just like how my mom was, how my pop was, how my family was. Everybody's just a failure. But then you never even turned around to see why you were speaking, why you were working on your gifting on this side. The right door was meant for you, because you keep looking at the door that you think is perfect for you to fit the mold of people that you don't belong in. You gotta create your own circle. Create your own circle of friends, create your own circle of people, because what happens is as you start to work, like whatever you say will attract you. If you keep talking about poverty and broke people going to attract to you. When you're talking about business, once I started really getting that mindset of business, doing events, Natalie, we've been friends for 20 years, but we came back around into the circle because we were both feeling the same way about we wanted more out of life. Halima came on board, Derek came on board, Lewis came on board. We started to really dwell on this stuff because we were all having the same mindset, and we necessarily didn't fit the circles that other people fed in, so we created our own circle. Natalie is the clarity coach because that's what she created for herself because she saw that she needed clarity. So when it was time for her to leave Mom CEO, it was a perfect fit because she moved into where she was graced to be at. Sometimes we don't realize that the reason why we have these issues or these doubts or these fears is because we're not graced to be in those areas in the way that we think we should. But once we start to renew our mind, change our thinking, and start to edit ourselves, we start seeing that the door we're supposed to be in was right there the whole time, waiting for us to really grow up and boss up and build those opportunities strategically and successfully. So when it's time for us to renew our mind daily, even like today, I keep a Bible in 2 different places because I know I'm gonna read it if I have it there, because I know I have to be so desperate about renewing my mind that I see what I need in front of me, and I know that my words have to change. So if you know if you don't like the life that you're living right now, it's time to change your words and your conversations. Like I told you, once somebody starts having a conversation I don't like, I stop the conversation immediately. Tell me 5 things you're grateful for. Tell me 5 things you want to work on the next 30 days. The reason why is because I need to switch gears. And if you don't respond to that, what I'm saying to you, I know for a fact we got to chill this whole conversation out and not talk because I am working on something. If I'm working on something, I have to be around those who understand me, who can pivot me, or who want to see me win. Because if you're not in that bracket, if you can't really speak into my spirit when I'm going through something that I need to get, like, shake it off, I got to stop talking to you because you're not a builder and you're not really there to help me out. And I'm saying you got to. I just know who needs to be in my space, when needs to be in my space. And if not, fam, I love you, but I got to leave you for the season of my life so I can progress and pivot to where God wants me to go. He wants me to boss up. He wants me to build those opportunities strategically and successfully. And if I don't take the time to really analyze my words, my thoughts, my surrounding, my community, my people, I'm going to be stuck right where they are. And I ain't trying to be stuck in this season of my life. I want to be able to grow and grow. That's what I want to do, grow and grow. And I might see you soon, I might not, but I'm going to go and grow. And if you're really ready to go with me, I'll lift you up, but I'm not going to let anybody hold me back by if their conversation's not the same as mine. And it's not saying you like looking down on people. I just know what season I'm in my life. And I have to be so aggressive about watching what my thoughts, watching what I see, watching what I speak.
Oh, Coach J. I'm going to have to change your name to Coach J. Oh, that was so good. I have to be so aggressive about what I see, what I speak, and what I put in my head, like what I'm listening to. This is such a great conversation, and this is how you end up leveling up. Listen, when we say trash conversations, we want to make it real simple and real plain for you. If you're talking about people all the time, that's a trash conversation. If you're talking about or you're complaining about where you are all the time, that's a trash conversation. If you're always talking negatively about yourself, about your surroundings, about what you have, about what other people, about your future, that's a trash conversation. You want to start switching gears. You want to start talking about ideas. The people that make the most money talk about ideas. They don't talk about other people. They don't have time to talk about what the other person is doing. They don't have time to talk about what the other person is building, what they're not doing. But if you want to elevate in your life and in your business, the first thing you want to do is elevate your conversations. What are you thinking? And it's not just conversation with other people. First and foremost, the conversation that you have with yourself has to elevate. You have to stop talking to yourself like you would talk to the dog on the street if they come to bite you or lick your leg or something. Like, we have a way of, a lot of us, talking ourselves down because we think that feeling guilty about ourselves is the thing that's going to get us to move. But feeling guilty just keeps you in a cycle cycle, a repetitive cycle where you beat yourself up and you don't move for too long. You start off real hot and heavy, and then you stop, and then you beat yourself up, and you think that's the thing that's going to motivate you to do hot and heavy again. But if you start talking to yourself from a place of love, from a place of encouragement, think about those people. Think about kids. Kids are motivated when people speak lovingly to them. Kids want to please their parents and please their teachers, and they only do that when you speak love to them. And that's the same way you have to treat yourself. The Bible says to love others as you love yourself, and we forget that we're part of that equation. So you first have to analyze the conversation that you're having with yourself. Secondly, you have to start having conversations with God and stop talking to the devil. Stop talking to him. I know a lot of people that be like, devil, I bind you, devil, I this, and you only talking to the devil. Like, stop talking to him. He don't got to do nothing, because the conversation that you're having with yourself is always putting you in last place. So he's not even in the mix. He's like, why she keep calling my name? I ain't even doing nothing. Start having conversations with the enemy. Start having conversations with God. And if you listen, all you got to do is say, God, what you want to say? If you are positioned to hear him, he will speak. And finally, stop talking to people who all they got is negative things to say. Stop talking to people. All they have is they want to talk about other people. They want to talk about who ain't doing this. They want to talk about that family member. Oh, girl, let me tell you the tea. No, I don't want to know no tea. I want to start a tea business. I want to start making money off of some tea. Like, no, you don't want to hear that tea. Tea making you no money, don't bring it to me. And so if you just elevate your conversations that you're having, change your language first and foremost. Change how you're speaking. Chef J said, whatever you say will be attracted to you. So if you constantly say that I am poor, I am broke, I'm never going to have enough money, bam, you're eating what you said. But if you start changing your language and begin to speak on a different level, on a different plane, you're going to initially see opposition. Because like my coach says, Myron Golden, intention is always followed by some type of distraction. Okay, so there's always going to be something that's going to come in your way. But if you push past that, you're going to begin to see what you are saying come to pass. So start elevating your life and your business by elevating your conversations. That's all I have, Chef J.
That's good. You have to elevate your conversations. And I think, too, some people wonder why they're not getting opportunities is because they haven't elevated their conversations. I think one of the biggest blessings, like, really was in 2020 when I started traveling with, people like Dr. Jewel and that whole crew, and Dr. Stacia and some other people. What happened is when I started hanging around these multi-million-dollar people who had billion-dollar conversations, I realized I was like, ooh, I'm not changing my thoughts enough. I'm not really changing my conversations enough. And what you start to find out is you can't wonder why you're not really making progress until you start making progress. It's so easy to think, man, it seems like I never got enough money. I can't do this. I can't do that. But you never stop to say, hey, let me pivot and start to really move differently with my conversations, with my words. Have I taken time to really even put money up to save? Have I taken time to really find an investment, a bank account to start making more money? Have I looked into cryptocurrency or stock? Have I tried to learn the stuff, right? Because what happened is broke people say broke because they never invest. Saving is great, but investing is also good, because while you're putting away, you're still not getting assets. You're not getting, interest on your money. Any person who has a lot of money would tell you that investing is always going to be the way to go, because when you start to invest, think about it. If we invest money, we should invest our words. How do you invest your words on a daily basis? How do you look at your words as, hey, my words can accrue assets? So what am I going to do to change my words to accrue assets? Because if you start speaking differently, you start to accrue differently. The more you start to speak positive words, you start to see that, hey, things start really changing around me. Like every day my kids, when I'm in my class, I'm like, hey, how's your day going, everybody? Oh, it's going great. Oh, my day's going bad. I said, oh, they said, Chef, how's your day going? I said, every day is great for me. because I've taken time to realize that I'm speaking wellness in every day. I'm taking time to speak blessings in my day. So if you don't really treat your words like investments, money, like I treat my words as if once I spend that word for the day, it's going to come back with the harvest in return. Your words are just like, think about dollar bills that you're not spending it, but you're investing your words. How are you investing your words every day? Because if you don't choose to invest your words wisely, it's like the movie where, was it Eddie Murphy had only like 1,000 words before he died? But anyway, like he only had like 1,000 words to use, and he had to be so intentional when he got down to the end because he always ran his mouth. So a lot of times we're just running our mouth every single day. We're not choosing to be intentional about our words and our conversation. What if you only had this last day to speak positive over your life? What if today was the day that your words created your world? How would you use them differently? If this was your last day on earth, how would you use your words? Would you invest it telling your loved ones how much you cared about them? Like that's a real reality thing where you have to start really living every day like it's your last, and how do you want it to be? Because tomorrow's not promised. You know, we made the wake up list, but why did we make it? So if we made the wake up list for today, okay, God, what is my purpose in the earth? What am I supposed to do today? Because if your words are not invested, you're just throwing it around like it's just nothing. But when I realized that this is going to be the only, whatever date is, March 8th or 9th, 2023, we're never going to see another March of this day in our lifetime. So how do I want to choose to spend in my day? Even if you have the worst day happening, what are words you're going to speak to change it? Because guess what? It may be 4:27 p.m. right now, Eastern Standard Time. The day's not over yet till it hits 11:59. So that means I still have a lot more time. I have more hours to change how I feel, to change how I see the world. Because guess what? I don't know what miracle could be waiting for me at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. I may get the call that changes my life, but guess what? I have to speak that belongs to me. That if you had a bad day, well, expect a great day, a great night, right? Because as soon as I start to speak my words and change them to be what I wanted to see, only then will I start to receive and manifest what I'm looking for in the earth. But you have to change your thoughts. You have to change your words. For example, I know what I need by the end of the week financially. I know what I have to do. Like even too, like this has been really crazy for me because this last 10 paychecks of my job has been docked like $1,400 because something my job never took away some of my pension, right? So because of that, I've been having $1,400 on my check every single week, right? I've never complained about it because the money I'm doing my business is usually extra. But I realized that, hey, am I going to choose to complain about it, or I'm going to choose to grind harder? And when I noticed it was a deficit, I'm right here like this every day, working the pavement. I'm creating content every day. If you see my morning schedule, like the first thing I'm doing is creating content and posting it because I know that if I know I have a financial deficit, I have to speak well over myself because I'm not going to lose. I know I'm not a quitter about jobs, but I'm not a quitter about I'm not a quitter about my business. I know I'm a winner, and because I know God created me to be a winner, everything I do has to exemplify that of a winner. So every day I'm choosing to really think about what I'm doing, to see what I'm doing. Like I'm visualizing success. So once failure comes in my way, let me move this out because you're not in my room. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. Let me get you out the way because winning is my stance. Winning is my priority every single day. Is winning a priority in your day? Is being successful a priority? Is being loved and loving people? Is that a priority? What are you prioritizing every day? Because if you look at your bank account, if you look at your iPhone, is it going to show that you've been prioritizing things? What are you prioritizing today? So if you're not prioritizing what you want to see manifest in your life, take a break, examine everything, and say, hey, I need to take a really good examination of my life. And I'm talking to myself right now. I need to take a good look at me. Am I representing somebody of the kingdom? Am I representing someone of success? And it's not saying, oh, be hard on yourself. No, be successful about yourself. So whatever I want to see, I have to take on those attributes so I can start to win in every area of my life. That's it.
Listen, this is so good. Basically, what he's saying, and all of us are saying today, is your words are one of your most powerful resources. We complain about not having enough money. We complain about not having enough people. We complain about not having enough time. But we don't realize the one thing that we have control over is our mouth, it's our words. And if we really believe that words shape our world, we would change the way that we speak. And we actually do believe it. We actually do believe it. So we should really be thinking it because we're speaking what we are living right now. We spoke the poverty into our life. We spoke a lot of things into our life. Yes, some of us are born into that thing, but to continue to walk in it, we have to continue to speak that thing. But we have an opportunity to change what we see by changing what we say. So you need to start. If you would love to get in a coaching program with Chef J and myself, instead of saying, dang, I don't have enough money, I can't afford it. Listen, I'm about to get these coins together so I can connect with these two because I know that they are powerful. I know that what I need is in whatever they have. I'm getting my coins together. I'm about to join their program. I'm about to get it together. That's what I did. Honestly, I did that multiple times when I had coaching. And I just did that the last time. I said, that's the coach that I want. I'm going to get with that person. And it took time. For one coach, I actually watched her. I told her when I finally got in a program with her, I said, I've been watching you for a little over a year. And I've been speaking that you are my coach and I'm getting into your coaching program. And finally, the funds have been made available. So I didn't care what she had to pitch or whatever. I was like, I'd already decided that you were going to be my coach. It just took me a matter of time to get there. But on the way, I kept speaking that into existence. What are you speaking into existence? What are you saying about yourself that you want to see in the future? Or are you consistently saying what you already see? You want to make a change? Level up your conversation. Start with talking to God, then talking to yourself. Change the way that you speak to yourself and change the people that you're talking to. Because the community that you're surrounding yourself with can either be the community that helps you elevate, or it could be the ones that keep you like a crab in the barrel on the bottom. So if you want to connect with us, reach out to Chef J and myself. You already put the banner at the bottom. If you are on IG, you just click the link above or boss.today to get connected, and we'll help you go to the next level. That's what we built for. That's what we're going for. So
and that's about honestly, the thing about coaching is sometimes when you don't know what to do, coaches really kind of help you clear the path, right? Yeah, we could do some things by ourselves, but why not have a coach, right? So in this season, if you definitely have to really pivot and elevate, it's time to make some decisions because all about decisions. Decisions will help you really pivot and get to the next level. So that's it for this week, fam. That was the being mindful of your conversations and your thoughts. All right. Just really meditate on that, guys. Watch the replay. Have a super dope day on purpose. And that's it, fam. We are out. All right. Bye.